One of the best reasons for you to implement a family banking system is to create a multi-generational wealth transfer that's founded on stewardship, education, and interdependent relationships. And so if you watch the previous video on building your family banking system and how to create and keep more cash flow inside your family for things they are going to finance anyways, like vehicles, let's take it a bit further. What about mortgages, college education, business startup? There's so many things that the family will need financing for, which is why we need to create the family bank and bring our kids and even parents into that conversation so we can actually work closer as a family instead of separated and working independently. And one of the reasons why your kids will absolutely want to use you as the banker is that there's going to be a wealth transfer that'll reimburse them 100% of the principal and interest that they paid into the family banking system for whatever financing needs they have, plus 10 times more than they could ever fathom. Now, no bank or financial institution's ever going to give you that type of deal, which is why it's up to us as the parents and the leaders of our family to create this environment in which we have all the control. And so let me walk you through our current multi-generational plan. So up here at the top, we've got my mother-in-law, Carol, my father, Kempton, and my mother, Cindy. Now, I and my wife, we own insurance on what we call Generation 1. Okay, and currently the death benefit that we own on these three individuals is a little over $2 million in death benefit. Now, there's cash value that's attached to those policies, and which is increasing every single year, and we can use it for whatever type of investments that we want to make, financing needs. And if these three individuals, Generation 1, if they live to an expected age at which they pass away, that $2.2 million will grow to a little over $3.2 million. Now, that is a tax-free transfer of wealth that will absolutely hit Generation 2, which is my wife and I. Now, keep in mind, this is not the policies that my parents own individually. This is the system that my wife and I, Diane, own on Generation 1 and then Generation 3, okay? So for Generation 2, you have to realize we are going to inherit a little over $3 million of tax-free wealth. Now, our Generation 2 banking system is big enough to be able to handle this windfall, because we're going to be able to take that and put it into our policies, which is going to accelerate all the growth from what we currently have. And my wife and I currently own a little over $12 million on what we call Generation 2. So that would be us. And this is where the stewardship has to be a major part of your plan, okay? If you build something like this without the proper education, without the proper stewardship, then most likely this will be for nothing, because your kids will end up inheriting something that they don't understand, they weren't properly coached and educated on, so they end up spending all the wealth. And then what happens is their kids end up growing up without money, and someone's got to repeat the process all over. And this is how most middle Americans manage their wealth. But if you study extremely wealthy families, the big banking families like the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds, you'll realize that they are 6 to 7 generations deep with wealth transfer, which is why they're all billionaires today, because they understand the philosophies of family banking, stewardship, and working interdependently with the family. You see, this doesn't work without proper education, time, coaching, all of those things. So my wife and I are teaching our boys as early as possible about money, how to save. They save into their piggy banks. They are programmed with conversations that we have that when that piggy bank is full, they deposit that money into their policies. Now, my 4-year-old can repeat that process. He knows as soon as he gets money, I'll ask him, what's the first thing you do with that? He says, save some. I say, great, where do you save it? He says, into my piggy bank. And I say, what do you do when your piggy bank's full? He says, I put it into my policy. Now, he has no concept of what's really happening there. But the important part is he understands the language of money, and he's programmed to do the right things to make sure that this system goes on. Now, all of our boys, or Generation 3, they will grow up in an environment where they have access to private money through a family banking system. The kids that they will go to school with, they will think it's weird that the other kids at school borrow from commercial banks. It's like, what? You don't have a family banking system? Like, what are you guys doing? This is going to be their new norm. Now, when my wife and I pass away at a realistic age, that death benefit is going to grow to a little over $34 million right now. Now, we're not even close to being done buying policies. Our system is expanding every single year, but this is assuming we don't add any more policies and we don't overfund any of the current policies we have. This is what the number would be. So my wife and I have a huge responsibility on our shoulders to coach and educate Generation 3, which is our 3 boys right now, on proper education around family banking. And this is why you need a proper estate in place with key individuals that will help your kids understand and utilize the money in case you and your spouse are no longer here. So this $34 million is going to transfer to Generation 3. And I can promise you all of our boys are going to know exactly what to do with that amount of money. And they'll use it to explode their current systems and accelerate it even further. Now, without that windfall coming, our boys are currently insured for a little bit over $2.6 million. And if they live to an appropriate age at which they should pass away, their current policies, which are only about $6,000 a year in premium each, will grow to a little over $10.5 million for Generation 4. So you can see how quickly this compounds and how this can set up the future generations. Now, what's neat about this is all of this is tax-free transfer of wealth. So if this amount of money is coming into a trust with proper rules, proper structure, proper people in place to help your kids take it to the next level, and you've worked hard educating them with proper stewardship, working on relationships, our kids can exit the current broken financial system. They will never need to borrow money from commercial banks. They will never need to rely on retirement accounts. They will never need to rely on Social Security. We can empower and set our kids up for massive success to move into their unique abilities and figure out who they need to become in this life as early as possible, because resources will not be holding them back from that journey. And so what a powerful concept. And someone in the family has got to realize this is happening and take the lead and become the leader to help show everyone else how to implement this. Someone has to be that catalyst for change. Now, the last thing I'm going to say on this concept, and this one is a completely different conversation, but so important. You see, the reason we focus so much on banking, okay, this banking education over here, the reason we focus on this is because this piece has to happen. Every single one of us will participate in banking. Every single one of us needs financing for whatever we do in life, which is why you have to have the banking conversations with your family. Banking is 100% transferable. You have to transfer it because they have to participate in that system. What you can't transfer are your unique abilities. Here's what I mean by that. We all have unique abilities. Just because I might be a decent investor or a good business owner or, whatever that case may be, does not mean your kids develop those same qualities of knowing how to run a business, knowing how to invest properly. You see, so we cannot rely on the transfer of our unique abilities because they are completely unique to us. They are yours. Those are your God-given talents, and you are the only person that has them, which is why you have to bet on those when you're playing the money game. Use your unique abilities to your advantage, but you have to know that your unique abilities are non-transferable. You cannot transfer them to your kids. It doesn't work that way. Now, some of your kids might end up being good business owners or investors, but they're going to have their own unique abilities. But what they cannot escape is the banking system. which is why we have to develop a family banking system so you can transfer this banking education to the next generation, which is going to set them up and empower them to live their maximum potential.